Every day I look in the mirror and discover me a new set of lines. So I was kind of thinking of Botox, baby. I'm on the way to turn back time.
Your record's out tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm so stoked to be speaking with you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. So what do you got planned for tomorrow? Anything exciting?
Well, in this day and age, unfortunately, I haven't got too many live shows.
I know, that's
planned.
a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer, but I think I'll end up just kind of getting some mates around and having a little listening party.
Right.
And to be honest, I'll probably be lying on the floor relieved that this album has finally come out.
So has it been a journey, so to speak?
Yeah, it has been. It's taken us, I think the recording process was probably a couple of years in itself, and then there was maybe another year of delay there, just people trying to figure out when to release music and the
Right.
pandemic.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's felt like a long time coming.
So it must kind of drive you a bit crazy having to wait all this time from recording and writing to actually releasing, huh?
It actually has been really hard, especially to kind of get in the mindset to move on to like a new project or write new songs. I've found it quite hard holding on to this album and trying to write more. It's been a weird kind of block. Yeah.
Right. So the album was recorded in Nashville, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So recorded in Nashville at Nash Chambers Studio, probably over the period of about 3 or 4 trips to Nashville, so not all in one go.
Right. So yeah, Nash is Casey Chambers' brother, is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Keep the Chambers is sorted out. Yeah. Okay. And so why are you working with him? How does that work for you?
Well, we actually met because he worked on my last record, Extraordinary Girl, and we actually did that one in kind of a live setting, so over a couple of days. And just this time around, I'd been really kind of excited by the way he would celebrate the kind of authenticity in my songwriting and also in my vocals, which is something I've really been trying to work on in the last few years. So I kind of know he was the right person to work on this new album with. It was an easy choice, yeah.
And you got some pretty cool players on the record. Dan Dugmore and Dennis Crouch and the McCrary sisters and Robert Ellis. And it's must have been fun.
It's kind of unbelievable. Like that, I think I got asked like what's been a career highlight. Probably sitting in the studio in Nashville with Dan Dugmore playing pedal steel on the tracks and just watching him and going, how is this happening? And then he even brought in the dobro that he'd used on Linda Ronstadt's record, which was, just all stuff that you're like, what is going on? That's
pretty cool. So that must be him that we hear on the first track on Dream Team. There's a pedal steel thing happening there, right? Yeah. So what can you tell me? Why is that starting out the record?
Girl meets boy, he's got a touch. He asks her, do you love me? Says she loves him this much. And the morning comes, 2 kids plus 1. A wife 5 years, a man steals a car. He finds a little trouble, shoots a tailor in the arm. And the morning comes, 4 wheels, 1 gun.
I think that song is, for me, I think maybe my favorite in the way of production, and it's just kind of brooding style. It's a bit of a statement track. It's the first single we decided to release, and I actually wrote this song after having watched that really devastating Chernobyl documentary.
Yep.
The song isn't about that, but I was just having these really tragic feelings trying to figure out, the types of people we choose to put our kind of families' lives in and who are making these choices for us. And anyways, it was just kind of a really significant song in that way. So why not kick off the record with it?
Exactly. Yeah. And so there's a couple songs that are kind of linked. The Botox song, and then which one is it? Limousine Running. So tell me
Yeah.
what is their commonality?
Yes, I was being pretty cynical on these tracks.
You don't seem like a cynical person, but there you go.
Yeah, I remember writing Botox and just being so stoked because I hadn't written anything like it before.
Right.
But I just sat down. I was feeling a little bit frustrated at some of the behaviors I was actually witnessing in a friend's relationship, and some of the shit that people were getting away with. And it kind of inspired this idea of, what does it mean to let that slide and give in to that, and what might that mean for your life and kind of years to come. And I think Botox is probably a stronger stance on that,
right.
Whereas limousine is almost the answer to that. And if you did give in to some of those kind of attributes in lifestyle, sorry, not attributes, the opposite, what that means for you. But yeah.
All righty. And I see you have somebody who I just spoke to, I think just a few days ago, Aaron Ray, singing on one of your songs.
Oh yeah, I've been such a big fan of Erin for so long. And when we'd recorded TD's song, I kind of can always imagine that her beautiful angelic vocal would be so lovely to have on it. We don't really know each other, but in the day of kind of Instagram and things like that, I just reached out wondering if it might be able to happen, and she was super lovely to accept the invitation. Yeah.
Right. So why did you choose her? I mean, there must be lots of singers around. What was it that brought you to reach out to her?
Honestly, I think at the time it was just that her songs would start my mornings.
Right.
And I think again, like her kind of delicate angelic voice on this track just made sense, because it is a really kind of personal song for me, in that I'm in it trying to go through a journey with some of the grief I'd experienced in TD's passing.
Right.
And I just felt, I don't know, some kind of connection to her, and that she would get it and kind of take to it well.
And TD is your husband's grandfather, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So he must have been happy about you writing a song about his grandpa.
Yeah, I remember when he passed, I actually wrote the song sort of as a Christmas gift to the family that year.
Right.
And so I just sent it to my husband, and he played it for them on Christmas Eve. And yeah, it was just kind of a tribute to TD, but also how grateful I felt for being able to have some really quality time with him and amongst my partner's family.
Cool. Now, while we're on this guests and duets and stuff, there's Robert Ellis is on there. Robert's been down here in New Zealand a few times, so we've gotten to know him. You got him singing with you on Worst Crime. Tell me how that happened.
Still remember stealing that first kiss, 'cause we were dancing shadows in the dark, and all that I did wrong was give you everything, and you're the one who put me behind bars. Oh, so yeah, I'm guilty. Yeah, I screwed up.
Actually another Instagram connection. I think he maybe he'd messaged me about something on the last record, and so yeah, he's been really lovely about that. And when I'd written Worst Crime, I remember really not liking the track that much, actually, until we kind of thought of the idea of making it a duet. and Robert Ellis came to mind. Same thing. I kind of just messaged him out of the blue, hoping he might agree to it. And he did. He came in, full steam ahead, lent his vocal and a piano to the track. And then after that, actually invited me out on tour in Texas. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, incredibly supportive, wonderful guy that was totally willing to kind of bring me along. Yeah.
And what was that like? Did you have fun?
Oh, I loved it. I just said I would open just solo acoustic, but I found the audience to be really receptive to kind of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Maybe just the accent. And then Robert was awesome. He'd have me up and we would do a cover of Dreams, and we would sing Worst Crime. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience. And that was just right before the pandemic hit. So I was lucky to kind of get that.
Yeah, under your belt in there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the song Worst Crime, so lyrically, it sounds kind of like the singer or you or whoever is kind of beating themselves up kind of emotionally about feeling guilty and screwing up and all that. So hopefully you're feeling better about yourself now.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm super. I acknowledge some of the shitty things I've done in relationships for sure.
Right.
But now, I have a my husband is very understanding, so it's all worked out.
That always helps. So how long have you been married, if I can ask?
We just got married a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Fresh.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, hopefully it'll all go well. I'm sure it will. And you have the McCrary sisters singing as well. It's like the song is called Sailor. It's like a sea shanty. And you kind of grew up on the Mediterranean at some point. So is that why you've written this song?
Totally. I think, that. And I'd actually written it initially imagining that we might just record it a cappella. And I think that's kind of where it got its shanty, nearly kind of gospel feel. For me, like my spirituality definitely comes from my connection with the sea. And I think that where it was really special to have the McCrary sisters come in and do those vocals. I mean, that was something again that I was kind of pinching myself having watched them at the Americana Honors Awards and things like that. Just going, oh my God. But the humility with these Nashville folk is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. So what was the feeling like in the studio when you're working? Was it friendly? Was there tension? Was there, I mean, how would you describe it?
No, it was super friendly. I just felt a little starstruck and like I really just wanted to kind of stay back and let them do their thing. I mean, I imagine as a group of sisters like that, from what I observed, they kind of came into the room, kind of picked up the lyrics and the song and were just bouncing off each other and getting into their kind of zone. So I stood back and just let them do their thing.
So are you planning on being in New Zealand for a while, or are you going back over to Nashville, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I'd love to be home for a little while. I'd also, like to have the freedom to kind of go back and forth to Nashville again. But I don't know. I think I've learned a fair bit of patience over the last couple of years. So I think as soon as it's safe to do so, I'll be booking some flights. Yeah, a little uncertain for sure.
They are strange times indeed. And are you thinking about the next record at all?
Yeah, I've written only a handful of songs, I think, lately that I've felt excited about. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, I've found it hard to just move into the idea of a new project without having released this last one.
Right.
So I am looking forward to getting it out there and just taking some space to debrief on the last year and seeing what comes out of that.
Cool. So you did some kind of online thingy yesterday, right? Performance?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's so funny this day and age, but that was really my first probably proper Zoom performance thing, which was really wonderful to be able to do, and to be honest took as much setup as probably a live show.
Right.
but I definitely miss the audience connection.
That's, I got to wonder what it's like when there's nobody in there to, it's probably some guy with some headphones on somewhere and that's about it.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah, all righty. So are you going to be doing some shows in New Zealand, do you think, soon? Do you think it's going to be able to be possible?
Definitely planning on it. So I think, we'll put those plans together knowing that there may have to be, plans B and C.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly getting press releases announcing shows and then canceling and postponing and rescheduling. It's crazy. So
it is really crazy. So I think as we kind of already know how to do in the music industry, you kind of just adapt. But we'll try to keep positive and book in some shows and see what we can do.
Cool. All righty. Well, thanks for talking to me about it. It's fantastic. Hopefully we'll see you on stage somewhere soon.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.